He said, how many? Bro, how many even is that? What? Do you even know how many songs that is? That's more songs than this album. It's way more songs than this album. That's more songs than Parker McCollum's whole discography. That's more songs than there are days in the longest month. That's more songs than there are teams in the NHL. That's more songs than there are teams in the NBA. That's more songs than there are teams in the MLB. That's more songs than the sum of the fifth row of Pascal's triangle. That's more songs than it's been years since Fast Car by Tracy Chapman was released. That's more songs than it's been years since Adele was born. That's more songs than it's been years since Conor McGregor was born. That's more songs than it's been years since Tyler from Dude Perfect was born. Yeah, this Zach Bryan album is too long. His Instagram post showed 34 songs. Rumor on the street is that number could actually be higher. And I guess my question is why? What is gained from having an album this long? Who asked for this much music? I don't want that to come off like I'm dreading the album, because I really like Zach Bryan. I've watched him come up over these last few years. I've been a pretty big fan of really all of his output, but too much of anything can be a bad thing, and it's just hard for me to look at a debut studio album with a 34-song track list, potentially more, and not grow at least somewhat concerned, because in case you haven't picked up on my point yet, that's a lot of music. I don't think anyone on this earth, past, present, or future, could make a 30-plus song album and not have it feel bloated, dragged out, or overdone to some extent. I just don't think it's possible to maintain any form of cohesion or keep a listener engaged for the entire thing when the album is longer than your average feature film. I mean, Elizabeth was 18 songs and 64 minutes, and when he first released it, he acknowledged the fact that it was a daunting length, and he understood if people felt it was too long. Zach, I can assure you, if people thought Elizabeth was too long, doubling the track list won't fix that issue. Obviously, he's not making music to satisfy others. His art is a personal thing. I just find it odd he would acknowledge that an 18-song album is potentially too long, only to go ahead and release something twice as long not 2 years later. Unfortunately, the Instagram post I'm referencing where he discussed the length of Elizabeth is no longer up, as is most of his posts from that era given the drama, so I guess you'll just have to take my word for that one, otherwise I'd throw it on the screen right now. I guess it just comes down to how you like to listen to music, because with an album this long, he can't be going for an organized, focused album telling one story or zeroing in on a few concepts. And if he is, it's just not going to work. He's obviously going for a more buffet-style album where you pop in, grab a few songs and go, which if you're someone who listens to an album and downloads 2 or 3 songs to a playlist, this announcement is probably all you could want and more, and I envy you in this instance. But myself, I like taking in an entire body of work. I like putting on an album from front to back, unshuffled, and letting it take me on a little adventure. 34 songs is no little adventure. When would I ever have time to listen straight through an album this long? Another side of me says I probably never will, other than my first couple listens, because there probably won't be much direction to this record that would make me want to listen right through. Because I think it's more than safe to assume there's gonna be filler on this album. There's gonna be some lyrical overlap, some structural overlap, certain songs achieving their goal better than another, striving after the same thing. So that's where you sort of pick and choose the ones that speak to you and construct your own little Frankenstein album of your favorite parts, but just how I am, I don't really like doing that. I want the artist to put the puzzle together and show me how it's supposed to look, not just give me pieces and allow me to assemble it in my own way. I guess for his big studio debut, I was hoping for something a little more intentional and less open-ended. I was super intrigued to see how Zach was going to introduce himself to a broader audience, but with this, it feels like more, I'm going to give you a little bit of everything, and you can base your idea of me off of which parts you like, which has its pros and cons. I guess I'm just a little bummed because, as I said, I was interested to see how he was going to present himself in this new environment. However, I don't want this video to be completely negative because I'm still wildly excited. Any announcement of new music from Zach Bryan will have me counting down the days. This release in particular, though, it just feels pretty ambitious. Because although it's safe to assume there's gonna be some filler, not all 34 songs can hit as hard as the rest, it's also pretty much a guarantee we're gonna get some absolute belters, some songs that are gonna keep the sad boys crying for at least another 7 years. Beyond that, I'm just interested to see what studio versions of songs like Mine Again and Cold Damn Vampires will sound like.
One of the benefits to this buffet type album we're inevitably in for is it'll most likely lead to some surprises, some sounds I wouldn't have thought Zach would work in so well, just like how I never would have thought Zach would sound so at home on a song with a heavy downbeat and blaring horn sections, but then From Austin came out and I love that song. And I'm assuming there's going to be more surprises like that across this album, and I'm excited to hear what those are. I don't know, in case you couldn't tell by the intro, this video isn't meant to be some deep video essay on Zach Bryan or album structures. I just figured I'd hop on for a few minutes and give my thoughts on the track list since it seemed to be trending around the community. I think a lot of people, myself included, were caught off guard simply by the length. Overall, I'm really excited. I respect the boldness to put out an album this beefy, but like, it's beefy. And I do think no matter how good its best moments are, it just feels a little too ambitious, a little unrealistic, just too long. But maybe with an album this unconventional, I have to go in with unconventional expectations. Anyways, be sure to let me know what you think of this announcement in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you not? How excited are you for this album to drop? Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed. It really does help the channel out. If you're new, maybe consider subscribing for more country music content. Links to my Instagram, Discord, and podcast are all down below in the description. Be sure to check all of those out. And yeah. Until next time, I hope y'all have a great day.